It's summertime, baby. Let's get it. The air is terrible outside, but it's summertime, so we get to relax a bit here. Despite the work, we get to relax. Now let's enjoy our new theme song.
This is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast.
Let's go.
Let's go. Nice job on that, Jeremy. Good job on that. The same song, but just a new background there. So, yeah. So I don't know. How do we want to kick off the show? Do you want me to start?
Sure, you could start it off for once.
All right. I think I'm gonna. I've been actually waiting for this show since Tuesday. So I might hijack this a little bit if you're cool.
All right, that's fine.
So, if you guys are following the Twitter, I had the pleasure, really the honor to go to the 30 for 30 event that Tom Grossi ran in New York City. I was, when he first announced it at the draft, I noticed that Green Bay was the first stop. I was thinking about going to that one, but being from New York, it just probably wasn't worth the trip for one day. But obviously I wanted to make it to the New York one no matter what. So that was I gotta say, like, I'm probably gonna go on for an hour about this event. But very simple event. It was basically just a bunch of people standing in Bryant Park in New York City. That's all it was. No planning, just people showing up all for a common, interest, which obviously was about Tom, right? But it really wasn't about Tom. It's really about, people's interest for the NFL. I talked to Tom for a little bit, as you can see in the intro. But most of the time I was talking to fans, you guys watching the show. I mean, maybe some of the people that I met, told about the show are watching now. And if not, maybe they'll watch later. And again, definitely reach out. I'd love to, stay in contact with you guys. But there were a lot of people. I went by myself. Obviously, Jeremy's in Pennsylvania, so he couldn't make it. He could have gone to the Philly one, but, he doesn't want to he doesn't want to go. I don't know.
It was the bad air quality. I'm just going to say that.
Are you home, or are you at your in Delaware?
I was at home, but I was coming back, and I just did not want to go because of the bad air quality, because it was like yellow in the sky yesterday.
Yeah, well, so in the New York one, that was when it first started. Like Tuesday at like 6. So I got into I got on the train, no issue, and I get in, and all of a sudden people like texting me saying, "Hey, be careful! There's this bad air quality thing." And I go, "Nope, we're doing it for the kids." That's why I texted somebody. I said it's for the kids. We got through COVID. I heard on Twitter that breathing in the air in New York, and just so maybe we have a viewer that's not from New York, there are like pretty bad wildfires right now in Canada that are the smoke and the kind of bad air quality coming from these wildfires are kind of making its way down in New York, which we're not used to here in the East Coast. Maybe if you're watching from California or somewhere on the West Coast, or maybe another country that has wildfires, might be more used to this, but we're not really used to it. So pretty surreal experience. I mean, like you said, the sky was orange. City. I mean, it was crazy. It's like you're on Mars. And obviously it's probably not good for people's health. So, but that was not going to ruin the event. I mean, I saw something on Twitter that is the equivalent of smoking 6 cigarettes. I don't think you smoke any cigarettes, Jeremy, but I don't. So, as long as I don't get addicted to it, some people smoke six cigarettes in a day, right? So if that's all it took was 6 cigarettes, I'm not going to get addicted to for the rest of my life because, there's no nicotine in it, obviously. That was fine with me. So whatever it does, if I die a day earlier because of what I inhaled there, it's fine. So, but I did try to stay inside other than that. I wasn't going to go for a run outside with this air quality. But, Tom event was worth it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I digress. So, met a lot of cool people at this event. Again, we're just standing really in Bryant Park. I had taken a day off from work because I expected to go to MetLife. The one downside I got to say, and I told Tom this in person, was, or I think maybe somebody else told him. Maybe it wasn't me, but he's pretty late on telling people where he's going to be. So he didn't tell people you weren't going to be at MetLife till like 10 o'clock the night before. So, I had taken the day off. I was ready to go drive out there in the morning, but, there was an Ed Sheeran concert, definitely not his fault, this weekend, and they were setting up for it. So I guess they can't, they don't want a bunch of people over there. MetLife is out of the way anyway. You don't want to go over there unless you absolutely have to,
No, that was the same for him in Chicago also because the Taylor Swift concert, I believe, too.
Right. I think they still did it outside. But MetLife, have you been to MetLife before, Jeremy?
No, I've never.
So it's basically in like an industrial park out in New Jersey. Like, a lot of people came, and this will get later in my story, because of New York City. So I really think if there was a place to do it, New York City was the place to do it. It's just where everyone is, and a lot of people I wouldn't have met if it was in MetLife because they wouldn't have gone. So, it was much better in Bryant Park. So I'm glad actually that they couldn't do it in MetLife and it happened in Bryant Park. And I'm sure Tom himself was happy about it. But anyway, ironically, I took the day off of work because I expected to, have to go to MetLife. But long story short, I should have went to work. Not my normal office. My normal office is actually in Connecticut. But my company also has another office I work from like about 20% of the time in Bryant Park. And that's where the meetup was. And so if you follow Twitter, I posted from, my office right beforehand. So I got the bird's eye view. That's how I got that. I just went in just for the event. But no, it was great. It was really great. I mean, I got to meet, obviously, Tom. But I got to meet other people in the Packers blogosphere. Aaron Nagler, he came. Perry Goldstein was there. I met her.
Let's go.
And, there were a few Packers fans. Other than that, there was one guy who was very nice. One girl that was very nice. I had met right away. She was there from the beginning. And then there was a couple. There was actually a guy that I was talking to for a while. Didn't know he was a Packers fan because he had no shirt on or anything that was Packers. Then he shows me his watch, and it has a Packers logo on it. And I go, "Oh, you're a Packers fan? I thought you were a Jets fan." And no, he was a Packers fan. So he was a Packers fan. And then there was a very nice couple I met that they were both Packers fans. Actually, he might actually come onto this show. I reached it. He actually has a Twitter. His name is John. He has a Twitter. It's called Pack and the Beanstalk. Have you ever heard that one? He's actually got a lot of followers. I was looking into some of the stuff he does. He doesn't do a podcast right now, but I did ask him if he wanted to come on the show, and he said yeah. So we should probably try to get him on. I think next week you said you may have Carson coming on again.
We might have Carson. We have to adjust to the day because he can't do Thursday, so we have to do Friday for that.
Okay, I think I can do Friday, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think after that we should get him on. He seemed to be very knowledgeable about the Packers, so I think he'd be a great guest if he's interested, which it seemed like he very much was. So I think we have another guest on the horizon. Some of the other people I met, I had kind of mentioned to it. I think I got a lot of yeah, maybe, but no, he was definitely serious about it. I think so. Hopefully he joins. I think that would be a great asset to have. But in addition to just fans, we had, like I said, Aaron Nagler. I talked to him quite a bit. I actually got a few stories to break on the show. Hopefully he's okay with breaking the inside news. But this is no.
Oh wait, Mike, you're muted. Well, let me see if I can unmute him real quick. Oh, hold on.
Sorry, my fault. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I by accident unplugged my mic. So anyway, so I'll get to that stories later on. Too much important stuff to talk about first, but yeah, no, it was great. It was great to hear some different perspectives. Obviously, we got a lot of Aaron Rodgers questions. I kind of had to give my 2 cents on that. But no, it was just a great event. But obviously, it's also for a great cause in St. Jude. I donated to Tom personally, just gave him some cash. People were doing that. It was fun. It was great photo opportunity, great to meet people, and it's great to talk to people over the internet, right? Like we have a platform, not a huge platform, but anybody can just go on, like you said, go on StreamYard. It's free. We're not paying for this, right? Go on YouTube, free. Also free. Yep. Just start talking, right? Whether or not people want to listen, that's up to them. But it's a great avenue to just get your thoughts out there. But the problem with this is, it's through a screen, right? So like it's a one-way conversation. I mean, you and I could have a two-way conversation. Yeah. But for the viewer, they could use the comment section, which please do use the comment section if you're watching right now. We want to get your input. But other than that, you can't talk, right? So unless you join in a future show, which we'd love to have you on too. But anyway, what Tom is doing by going all over the country, right? And I wrote this actually on YouTube because on Twitter because somebody posted here. Let me see. This just happened like right off the press, right before we got online. He goes, back in February. This is what Tom wrote in the tweet. He goes, back in February, I knew this could be something, but the reception to this, the teams who have helped us, and most importantly, the fans have made this the greatest experience of my life. We are doing something special out here. I appreciate you more than you can know. So anyway, so my response to that, and I'll read that, and Tom liked it actually, was, so I said, Tom is bringing the internet to reality. This is the next phase of YouTube, bringing virtual camaraderie together to bond a common interest IRL. Keep up the amazing work. So let me just kind of speak to what I think about that, right? Like, so again, we're speaking into a camera at the end of the day. You and I could talk, but we can't hear everybody else, right? Yeah. That's what YouTube is. It's a one-way conversation. But what is great about YouTube is that anybody could do this, right? You don't need to work for CNN, for a news network, right? You don't have to. There's no barriers of entry to get your thoughts out there, right? Isn't that what's great about this?
Absolutely.
But the problem is I'm talking to a computer. That's no fun, right? We want some human interaction. Yeah. This is breaking that barrier, right? Because now everybody who's watching, right? Not only can I super chat you and do all that, but now I can meet you in person, right? And it's not like I'm walking on the streets of New York City, right? If you go to New York City or Philadelphia, right? There's a bunch of people around you, right? But you might as well be by yourself because what am I going to do? Hey, how's it going, person? Like, I hope you're having a good day. They're just going to keep walking, right? But in this situation, I'll tell you, like, a lot of people don't want to go out by themselves, right? Because it's kind of awkward. But everybody I met, I was there by myself. They were all there by themselves too. So it's almost like, in Jeremy, you're in college, right? You remember your first day in college? You kind of like, it didn't matter if you didn't have like a lot of friends in high school or you weren't part of the cool clique or whatever. Everyone's new, right? Like, who are you? Like, we're all starting anew, right? That's kind of the feeling I got. It's like you're looking around like, well, who's gonna like bunch up? So there was different groups that's formed. Like I was talking to a bunch of guys and there was a bunch of like girls that were talking in one area. And it was interesting. It was just like, meeting new people and like all over a common barn that we're all not necessarily Packers fans, but we're all football fans. And we all know, Tom Grossi's work. So it was awesome. It was free too. That's the other thing. Sometimes you have to wait online or whatever. Like, it was a great event. So I'm going to keep going on and on. But if you have any questions, please stop me. And we do have someone in the.
Can I speak? Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. That's the beauty. Like, because my major, I'm a sport management major, and I go to networking events. That's the beauty. It's basically a networking event, but that was free. But like, that's the beauty. Is like networking. You're just talking to people. It's like that's how it is. You're connecting with people. Like we connected when we went to the beach, Mike. That's how.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's like you're connecting, and the internet brings it faster. Because if we didn't have technology, you wouldn't see any of this whatsoever. But technology has brought the connection so much easier and so much better and faster and everything. It just makes a more fun experience. Everything.
Right. It's efficiency, right? Like,
yes.
Without YouTube, you wouldn't have Tom, right? Posting, right? We're not going to have the viewership Tom has. I'm not expecting that at all. But, if you had Taylor Swift out and right, there would be thousands of people everywhere, right? You had the police there, right? Tom is small enough where, okay, there was 50 people there, right? 60, 70 people. So it's not, crazy, like out of control, right? So there was enough people where it was a good group. And it was fun. It was manageable. If you had a huge celebrity over there, right? Who knows? Maybe Tom becomes a big celebrity and through this kind of thing, and this can't happen again. But it was really a great event. I can't stress it. If you're listening, you're on the fence about going. Even if you go by yourself, half the people there were by themselves, and it was just meeting different people. And it was really, really. And Tom's the nicest guy. Like. He sat there and he took a picture with every single person. He had not only take a picture. Sometimes you go to these events like, take a picture. I get out of here, like the security, right? There was no security. There was a guy holding a camera and Tom. So, if you wanted to sit there and have a conversation with him, you have to be mindful. You can't say, hey, I'm going to take 30 minutes of your time because there's people waiting to come up to you too, right? But there's no cameraman or no security guard pushing you out of the way. Say, all right, your time's done, right? So it was a great event. Yeah. And it goes to show you that, in life, again, there's a lot of security. People always worried something's going to go wrong. Yeah. There was none of that. Like everyone was just there to meet different people, talk about football, and have fun. There was no negativity at all. I didn't see one sense of negativity in that whole group. And it was awesome. It was just it was a great way to spend my Tuesday night. So again, if you have a what do you call it? And if you're on the fence, please go. I really recommend it. I would go again, but I'm not going to travel crazy distances for it. But actually, I'll bring this up. So the other person I spoke to, right, was Aaron Nagler.
Yes. So
Nagler came. Perry was there, and I was actually talking to Perry for a little bit in the beginning. She was actually texting them, so she kind of had the inside scoop when Tom was coming because we kind of got there before Tom. What was I going to say? So afterwards on the live chat that Nagler had yesterday for Cheesehead TV, I sent him a super chat. I said, it's great meeting you last night. Keep up all the great work. But I said it would be great to also have a Cheesehead TV meetup in New York City because they've done it in Green Bay for, I think, Patreons. And, I haven't made it out there yet just because both times I just weren't in Green Bay for that time. So, being that they're both from New York and there's a large Packers fandom in New York, I said, it would be good to have, maybe do a Kettle of Fish event where, support a local business too. That's a Packers bar that usually gets a lot of people for Packers games. But why not have these meetups at Kettle of Fish, right? Like, just because there's not a Packers game going on, does that mean we don't want to talk about the Packers? No, right? We always want to talk about the Packers. What for training camp, whatever. Like, what we should do is start having these shows in live at Kettle of Fish or something. We just want to talk about the Packers. We don't care if they're playing or what. It's just a great bonding experience.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, apparently they were talking about the same thing that night, is what he said. And I'll post I sent you the clip, right? So if you guys want, go back to the Wednesday show of the Packers Daily. And he said that they're going to plan for something in July. So I'm looking forward to that too. Hopefully that materializes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to come up for that, Jeremy, you're welcome to come up. You could crash in my spot. But take up a train if you don't want to drive.
All right, I'll think about it.
No, you should. You should.
Right. Yeah.
But so anyway, so that's that idea. But I really think this is a groundbreaking event. I mean, he's doing a great job with the videos too, where they kind of
he's gaining
feed into each other. He's doing like the coming up or in the past. Like, I think they're doing a great job. And I hope this is a yearly thing because, one, they're raising a ton of money for charity. I mean, how can you complain about that? It's a weekend and they've raised $100,000 for St. Jude. I mean, that's amazing, right? Like, that signed me up, right? Like, when there's kind of like steamrolling of like great cause, right? Like, that's when you want to, contribute to that cause, right? It really motivates you to is what I'm saying. So it kind of like the Damar Hamlin thing. In one night, over $1 million raised for him, right? Do that GoFundMe. Look, 1 week, $100,000 raised for St. Jude, and I'm sure it's going to be more than that. I'm sure it's going to be somewhere near. I think his stretch goal is $1 million on the tattoo. That's his stretch goal. I wouldn't be surprised if he hits it. I'll be honest. I really wouldn't be surprised if he hits it. And think about that. A guy from his basement in Yorktown, New York, raising $1 million for a charity like St. Jude from just people on YouTube. I mean, that would be amazing. So we're not going to do much talking about the Packers today. I'll be honest. This is more important than the Packers. It really is. Like, I think we know the Packers aren't going to be that great this year, but what is going to be great is the Packers community. And that's never going to go. Screw the players. Like, obviously they're important. Don't get me wrong. The field is important, but what's really important is the fan base. And that's why we're devoted to the fan base here. Again, we want to get all the Packers fans. If you want to come, you want talk about your team, this is the place to be. That's what's important about this. Sorry, go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, that's part of the topic. We had another topic of discussing the Packers' position in the NFC North is what the title of part of this episode is. And I was going to get your thoughts on the Dalvin Cook thing later in the episode.
We can talk about that. We can talk about football. I know it's a football podcast, not just a interaction podcast about people on YouTube. Sorry. But this is the importance. This is the fun stuff, Jeremy. Like you said, networking. Isn't that more fun? Isn't that more fun about just speculating about stuff we don't really know about?
Yes, but I just wanted to get to it later. That's all I'm just saying.
No, we will. We got all day.
Okay.
They can't turn us down, right? YouTube doesn't come and say you've gone on for too long. So whether or not people want to watch it, up to them. But no, this was great. Do you have any questions on the event?
Oh, hold. Say it again. You cut off a little bit.
I said, do you have any questions on the event?
Hold on. Oh, yes. So I have a couple. A, did you have a video and did you make a video of it?
I took a video when he came in. The video is being released today, I believe, for New York. So I would definitely recommend you guys watch it now, and it's going to do a better job than I would have done. I took a very short video of him walking in. I have obviously had the pictures you saw in the intro. He did the intro for us, which is great. I mentioned to him he had a podcast, and I said, hey, can we, just take a quick video? So he goes, I got you. He's like, I'm going to do an intro for this. So he just grabbed the phone, and I didn't even know what he was doing. He just started doing it, right? He goes, hi, this is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast. And he looked at me, and honestly, I thought it came out good. Like, I didn't even know what he was doing. So then I go, like, let's go. Like, what else am I going to say? Like, whatever. But I thought it was good. I think that was good. So, let us know what you think about that video. But, that was great. So thank you, Tom, for providing that. And who knows? Maybe we'll have some special guests moving forward. Did I cut out?
Hold up. No, wait. It was my side. My internet was off a little bit. No,
yeah.
You were fine, though. You're good.
Okay. But maybe we'll have some special guests moving forward. We'll try. It's in the works. Obviously not anytime soon, but we'll see. It's in the works. Let's just leave it at that. I don't have any insider information, but we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. My other question was, did Nagler talk about the Madden versus Grossi thing by any chance?
No, I'll be honest. Nagler was a little bit reserved. I think he didn't expect. I don't know. Grossi was very. I mean, obviously he knew what he was walking into, right? So he was very welcoming and very opening. Nagler was a little bit reserved. We kind of just had to talk to him a little bit more to kind of get, but he was very nice. I think he enjoyed our conversation at the end. I hope so, at least. But no, he wasn't really just like kind of giving out information unless you asked him. That's a great answer. I did ask them because he was with Perry at the time. So I asked them kind of how they started the Packs What She Said podcast. Because I know they had Maggie at the beginning. And then Perry kind of joined afterwards. So he kind of gave me the backstory on that with Perry. I mean, obviously they were both there. So, but apparently, he had reached out to her from Twitter. I guess she was active on the Packers Twitter before and realized she was from New York. So she was just in the right place at the right time. Got a little bit lucky there. But yeah, so that, great for that. And then the other thing I asked him, this was the other story I was going to say, was, how Nagler was looking for his daughters for the Taylor Swift concert in MetLife? Did you see that on Twitter? Yeah, he was looking for tickets. He was like saying, like, if anyone could get tickets that are cheaper, let me know, because those tickets were going for like $3-4 grand a piece just to be in like the nosebleeds. So, well, I don't know about $3 grand for the nosebleeds, but probably at least $1,000 for the nosebleeds. Like the floor seats were like $4 or $5 grand. Yeah. So, last minute, the day before, he was saying like, oh, I didn't get any tickets, whatever, on the show, but that they were going to go watch it from outside. But then the next day when the show was happening, I saw that his girls were there and they had floor seats. And I had kind of noticed that it was Tom that somehow got the tickets for him. So I asked him that too, because I was curious. It didn't really fully explained on Twitter how they got the tickets. So he mentioned that, I guess the way Tom got the in with the NFL to do the 30 for 30 is through Nagler, because Nagler has a lot of connections within the NFL, right? Yep. So he put him in contact with somebody who helped him. So kind of as his payback for that was he came out of pocket to buy the tickets. But I mean, that's huge. I mean, again, for floor seat tickets, probably $4 grand a ticket. He has 3 daughters, so I think he paid for 3 seats. And I thought Nagler went too, but I don't know if he got, or maybe he was just outside. I'm not really sure about that part, but he must have spent close to 15 grand on those tickets, probably.
I think it was
all the fees.
I think it was stuff. Yeah, I think it was $5 grand for the floor seats.
Probably. So who knows? He could have spent 20 grand on that, Grossi. But Grossi's a really good guy. I mean, I can't say enough. I mean, the amount of charity he's doing. Do you know Janelle Mackey, the girl that's on Game On Wisconsin Pack-A-Day podcast?
Briefly.
Yeah. So apparently she's having like some health issues. So she put up GoFundMe first off, just because she has health issues and some financial issues. So if you guys want to support, definitely go check her out on Twitter. But I saw on the page when I looked at it that he had donated to like $1,800. Tom Grossi. That's a lot of money. So Tom's a really great guy, and I actually posted on Reddit. I gotta say, I was a little bit rubbed the wrong way with this, and I love Packers fans, but not everyone's great. Just in any community, not everyone's great, right? I had posted, because I was going again. I was a little bit not nervous, right? But I wanted to meet people before I went to this event. Just that I knew somebody, right? Because I was going by myself. So I just posted on Reddit, just saying, hey, is anyone going to this event, right? And I got like 4 or 5 comments, like saying, like, no, I wouldn't go there. Like, I don't want to hurt my ears. And I'm like, what do you even mean? I said, you're fun at parties. And the guy's like, no, like, it's not the loud noise. It's his voice is annoying. And I'm like, what's even wrong with his voice? His voice is fine. Like, so I don't know. People were just kind of roasting him on the page. And then I was like pushing back against him a little bit. But I won because if you look at the downvotes, everyone that was negative was it was like 50 net downvotes. So, and I was getting all upvotes. So yeah. But no, Tom's a great guy for the Packers community. I mean, he's probably one of the bigger NFL YouTubers at this point, and he's part of the Packers community. So, yeah. And he's from New York too, which is even great for me. And I learned that he actually was a leave replacement in my district, in my town. I didn't know that. He told me that in person. So I know I've spoke a lot about this. Sorry if it's boring, but I mean, it was really, really great event. And it's just going to get better. I mean, he was kind of telling us some inside scoops, which I'm not going to put on the podcast. You'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to spoil it. But what's kind of down the line for the next teams? Because one thing I will say is, as something kind of grows, right? People don't know what it is in the beginning, so they kind of like dismiss it like, that's not going to have much success. But as you kind of see throughout the stops, it has a lot of success, and it's kind of starting to gain momentum. The other teams, I think, are going to want to get involved in this because, one, it's for St. Jude, right? And 2, it's good publicity on their end. Yeah. So I think really a lot of teams are going to be giving him more access to things now that they're seeing kind of the momentum this is getting. So, there's definitely some things along the way that he had kind of mentioned to us. But again, I'm going to leave that to you guys to watch and figure out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did want to give a quick shout out because I didn't get to go because of the air quality, but my one person that follows PackReacts and follows my YouTube channel, Charlie, who's probably watching this by now or who watched this at the when this episode's over, he got to go meet Grossi yesterday at Philly, and it was an awesome opportunity for him. So I like to give him a shout out.
Do I know him? Was he on the draft stream?
So yeah.
Wait, do I know him?
I don't think you do.
Does he want to come on the show?
No, he was not at the draft. No, he might have been in the comments, but he was not one of the guests.
But he's a Packers fan.
Yeah.
Why don't you get him on the show?
Cutting out.
I think you're cutting out.
Hold on. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Say it again.
I said,
why doesn't
he come on the show?
Oh, I invited him, and then he said he'll think about it.
Okay. Well, tell him to keep stop thinking about it and just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
That was it.
I think I really hit on everything I was trying to hit on it. It was just really great event, and I hope it keeps happening. I hope we do. I bet you this becomes like a once a year thing. Raising money for a different charity. This year's St. Jude. Do another charity next year. It's tough for him though. I'm sure it's logistically pretty tough because you could tell he was pretty tired. I mean, he's doing a lot of traveling. So it might need to be more organized in the future, but just with the travel part and maybe give himself some more time. Maybe that's what he's going to learn here. But I thought it was a great event. So.
Yeah. All right. So since we're done with that, let's talk about the Packers in the position that Mike didn't want to talk about earlier, but now we're talking about the Packers here. Yeah. Dalvin Cook got released today. Well, he's going to be released by tomorrow officially, but he's going to be playing released, and the Miami Dolphins are heavily pursuing him. What do you think of this, Mike?
I saw that today. I mean, I think it's good for the Packers. One, the Vikings didn't get anything for him. I mean, for one of the better running backs in the league to get nothing for him. He's coming up in age. What is he, 30 now?
Yeah, he's about 30.
Yeah, so I mean, for one of the better running backs in the league, although he's old, not to get anything in return for him, obviously that's good for the Packers. And I'm sure they'll get a comp pick next year, but, that is what it is. So good news there. He's out of the division, likely. I mean, unless he goes to the Lions or the Bears, which I doubt it. The Lions already drafted somebody and the Bears have somebody, so that's not going to happen. So he's out of the division most likely. He's probably out of the conference. So I don't see any downside. I don't see any downside. Am I jumping for joy? Not really. I mean, it probably kind of the writing was on the wall for a little bit. And I don't think Dalvin Cook was going to stop the Packers from doing anything this year. It's really up to the Packers. The Packers are playing against themselves week in and week out. So I'm not so much concerned about the other teams in the division or in the conference. It's up to where the Packers can take themselves. So do I think it's positive for the Packers? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's going to change anything? No. I think if the Packers are meant to be a good team, they're going to be a good team. And if they're not meant to be a good team, they're not going to be a good team. And Dalvin Cook is not going to change that in either way.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think this changes a little bit for the positioning in the NFC North for us. I think the Packers will be better than the Vikings. That's my bold prediction for the season. Even whatever happens with Jordan Love, whatever happens, I think this helps us. Because now they're going to heavily rely on Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison in the passing game. Now they do have Alexander Madison. He's an all right, solid guy. You're going to have to watch out for him in fantasy football. But I think that hurts the Vikings a bit here. And Kirk Cousins, he's going to go into his last year's contract. The Vikings are slowly going down. The Bears, they're just barely getting up. They're slowly improving. The Lions are probably going to be the favorites to win the division. So if Jordan Love plays solid, I think they're going to be finishing second. They could win the division, but I think they're going to finish second. That's my take.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, yeah.
Remind me, Pear's your brother, right? Is that correct?
Because with that...
Did you hear me?
I don't even know if that is. I forget. I don't even know if that is. I forget if that is.
It was your brother. But anyway, he's saying that the Bills could get him and have both cooks. You're right. They could be really cooking. They could be double cooking. So I doubt that.
That's probably my brother.
Yeah, I think it is, right? Or I don't know. Maybe not. I thought I remembered that was his username. Yeah, I mean, they could. But I doubt it. I mean, I don't think that, James Cook is probably the better option at this point, right? He's younger. More upside. Yeah. Although Dalvin, obviously, I think he's going to have the better career. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's also talks he could go to the New York Jets, too.
Yeah, but they have Breece Hall. I mean, Breece Hall, I think, is even coming back by the beginning of the season, right? Or am I wrong about that?
Yes. He's coming back on time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. I think it's tough to keep getting older at a position where I'm sure he's going to want quite a bit of money, too. That's not a position to get older at. So,
no, it's not. And you can officially say that Aaron Jones is the best running back in the NFC North.
Yeah, at the moment. I think probably the Lions guy has the most upside, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be good. But, I mean, was he overdrafted? I think he was overdrafted.
Yes.
Yeah. They should have probably traded back if they wanted him. But I think he's going to be good. So, I would say the Lions probably have the most upside in running back. But I don't think it was the right pick.
No, I don't think it was the right pick at the right time. I think they could have gotten him later. Oh, yeah, it is my brother.
That's what I told you. I remember that. Come on, Jeremy. You don't even remember yourself.
All right, what's been your favorite Grossi video so far for the stadiums besides Green Bay? Mine's was the Patriots or Bills.
Put the comment up. We got to make sure we reward people for messaging. So let's see. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. What's his name again?
Brent.
Okay. Thanks for answering, Brent. So let's say, The Bills, obviously, I mean, that was cool with him jumping through the table, and there was a lot of people that came out for that one.
Yeah.
So I thought that one was cool. He was mentioning that the New England Patriots, they got to go in and do all that stuff because somebody reached out to the Crafts, and the Crafts personally invited him inside, and that was their doing. So that was a great event. That's pretty cool. The Green Bay one, I think, wasn't the best one, I'll be honest. But that was also the guinea pig of it, right? So, so that's that. I would say Cleveland was probably one of my favorite ones because I've actually gone to Cleveland before. I went for the Cleveland. My friend used to live there. I went for the Cleveland Browns Packers game, which we've talked about before on the show. Do you remember how it ended?
Ends with, as most people say, if you want to watch the meme of Forrest Gump running into a tunnel, it was off of Devontae Adams' touchdown where he spin moves and runs it, thrown by Brett Hundley, the quarterback at the time. And he runs in there, and if you see the meme, he bulldozes through the people.
Did he? Or was that the Jets where he ran into the tunnel? I thought it was the Jets where he ran into the tunnel.
It was the Browns.
It was the Browns?
Yeah.
I was in the stadium. I couldn't see that part. I was probably excited too. Yeah.
The Jets one's where he's on the side, and then he runs up to Rodgers and gives him the chest bump.
Yeah, I was there for both games. That's why I got confused. I went to back-to-back games where there was a what do you call it? Devontae walk-off. But yeah, so I was there. I like Cleveland as a city, especially when the Packers were playing. Our fans took over that stadium. That Saturday before the game, I was walking around the city. It's a very small city, but everything's very compact. There's a lot of things in the same area, and it's lively too. It's nice. It's right in the water. It's real good. So there were a lot of Packers fans when I went there, but they're a big football city. So it seemed like he had a lot of fun there. He went to the what do you call it? The monster truck event. That seems really cool. And it seems like the people were pretty receptive and everything. And obviously, we have your friend that does the card collecting. That's a Browns fans, right? Like they're a fan base that's been through a lot and, have stuck with their team and deserve, a good team and all that. So I like the Cleveland one a lot. I think, and that was also the first one that was a non-division city. So it was interesting to see kind of how many people would show up when, probably most of his viewers are in the NFC North. But I think, he's really diversified his following recently. Yeah. And, because you see all the teams kind of show up for Tom. So, that was kind of the first guinea pig of, this is not an NFC North team. So mine would say it was the Cleveland video so far. But I'm excited for the video tonight about New York. You'll probably see me there somewhere. So I'm excited for that one.
Well, it just got posted 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago. Okay. Can we do a live? What do you call it? Can we watch it live, or is that what do you call it? Stealing content.
I mean, they haven't given us a warning whenever we do our quick highlight reel.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do it. We probably shouldn't do it. All right. Well, go watch it. We'll watch it after the show. Yeah, that's probably not.
Yeah, we'll watch it. It's
not ethical.
An 8-minute video is. Yeah, it's not, but yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, back to the.
That's fine. Let's do the right thing. Okay.
All right, back to the Packers real quick. Has anything really stuck out to you so far in this offseason with the Packers?
I mean, yeah, obviously, a huge amount of change going on without Rodgers, so that's obviously the main thing. I think we had a good draft. I really do think we had a good draft. I think, right now OTAs are going on. It's kind of been on the back burner for me. There's been people talking about OTAs. I've been more focused on the 30 for 30 of it, I'll be honest. So, I'm just kind of let that part play out. We'll see. We'll see in training camp. But it seems like, the young guys are coming along. Seems like Luke Musgrave, people like a lot. He's a big guy. He's pretty fast for a tight end. So it seems like we have a good player there. I think I've heard good things about Tucker Kraft. Obviously, Jaron Reed. What's that guy's name again? The receiver?
Grant Dupoint.
No, Grant Dubois. He's the second rounder we got. Jaden Reed, right?
Yeah, Jaden Reed.
Yeah, that's what I thought his name was. I've heard good things about him too. He's pretty fast. He's got good hands. So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see where this develops. Where Jordan Love, I heard that Jordan Love and Romeo Dubs are having a great connection so far, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, I should probably be staying up with OTAs more than I have been. I'll be honest. So I don't want to come off as I have a ton of knowledge of what's going on in that part. This 30 for 30 thing is kind of taking up a lot of my bandwidth for football right now because there's a video a day, and I'm watching Twitter, seeing what's going on. So I think that's kind of a lot. I don't have a ton of time for football at the moment, but I think that's been my main focus. But the OTA things in the back of my mind, and I'm seeing what's going on, and it seems like there's obviously a lot to to improve on, but taking it day by day, and this young team it's gonna take time. You just have to be patient. That's all.
Yeah. I've watched a little bit of the OTAs, especially I've heard a lot of good things from our first round pick. Hercules is his nickname,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Heard a lot of good things about him. The defense has looked a little bit better, is what I've been hearing, especially on the defensive line of where they're putting new guys in and everything. Jordan has, let me think here, what was it the other day? I forget if it was Wes that reported it or Rob Demoski. It was somebody, one of the Packer Twitter guys, posted it, and it was about like the last play. Jordan Love is like trying to throw, like when like the game's on line, tries to throw his like and he like threw it so hard it was like picked off by like one of the secondary people. It was like a good lesson for him, like of when to take those risky throws, is what he kept mentioning after the practice. But Matt LaFleur has spoke highly of Jordan Love. He said he's improved a lot and he thinks he's ready to play some football. So, yeah. And I do think for me personally, a lot of people, I mean, yes, we lost Aaron Rodgers, great Hall of Fame quarterback, best quarterback probably in Packers franchise history. A lot of people are counting us out this year and think we're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I disagree with that. I think we're going to be the Seattle Seahawks this year. That's in my personal opinion, because you look at the schedule, it's not that bad. It's not a bad schedule. We improved, I would say, this offseason. Chemistry, Jordan Love, better. Defense, let's hope Joe Barry knows how to play defense. We have good secondary. We have the pieces growing. It's like a chemistry team. This team has no expectations really at this point. It's just seeing how Jordan Love does this year. If we can get to the playoffs and we lose the first round, that's fine by me. I don't care. That's the goal, just to make the postseason. But we're going to see the high hopes of like, we're going to see the great things, and then we're going to see bad. We're going to see like dive in the rough of like, we're going to see great things, and then there's going to be times where we're like, why does this have to happen to us? So it's going to be roller coaster as always in NFL season, but this one especially, it's going to be that. And I think we're going to be Seattle Seahawks this year. That's my personal opinion.
I mean, obviously a younger quarterback, but no, I think that it's possible. I think it's, I think that's a good comparison. I really think it will. The Packers could back into the playoffs and maybe do something.
Yeah. I mean, you can go look at the 49ers with Brock Purdy too. Like nobody, I mean, yes, the 49ers had high talent, but again, nobody expected the Mr. Irrelevant, as my brother always likes to mention, because he's a big Brock Purdy fan. No one expected Brock to do anything, and Brock carried that team all the way to the NFC Championship game. Even though they lost to Philadelphia, that's a huge accomplishment despite where the 49ers were. So anything can happen, especially with Jordan Love.
Yeah, I agree. Brian again, so he says, did you hear what Romeo Dubs says about Jordan Love? Romeo Dubs, Jordan Love can do the same exact thing as Rodgers, and I don't really see what's the big difference. I did not hear that. Again, I got to watch some of these conferences. That's what I'm learning today. I have to spend my time listening to stuff more. But Romeo, I think you're a little bit off. I don't think Jordan's going to be Aaron this year, at least. I mean, could he be better than Aaron this year? Maybe. I mean, Aaron's obviously much older than him. At Aaron's heyday? No, I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, hopefully Jordan. I mean, look, we also have to be careful how much we compare Jordan to Rodgers. He's not Rodgers. He's his own person, his own player. So again, it's his success needs to be measured in what's the best he can do. You can't measure him based off of anybody else. It's not fair. So what's the best Jordan can play? What's the best quarterback Jordan has inside of him? That's how I need to be judged. And, hopefully that's enough for the team to win. If it's not, then we have a decision to make if you want to move forward with Jordan or not. But, yeah, he just needs to be himself. He just needs to put his best foot forward, study, be prepared, gain camaraderie with the teammates, whatever, go above and beyond. That's what I want to see from Jordan Love is go above and beyond, do the right thing. Obviously, it's the NFL. It's competition, right? It's not going to be easy. So nothing's going to be handed to him. He's got to go out there and get it. Even if he puts it in all, that still might not be enough because, there's other teams out there that are probably more mature than the Packers, have a, more installed system with players that have been in this for a few things. They're more talented than what the Packers have. But can the Packers be successful, especially like you said, with the schedule, with the strength of the conference? Yeah, I think so. I really think they can. Do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? Probably not, because I think whoever comes from the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl. I really think the AFC is much stronger. But if you tell me, Jeremy, that you could sign me up right now to make the Super Bowl, sign me up. Sign me up, whatever. Even if they lose, right? Sign me up there.
I was told that.
But if you get into the Super Bowl, obviously you have a shot. So you got to get in order to win. So, but then I doubt they get into the Super Bowl. I mean, there's still probably a better team in the NFC than the Packers. But it's not out of this question. Would I put $1,000 out down that they wouldn't make the Super Bowl? I mean, depending on the odds, if the odds are really good, probably. But if the odds are bad, no, I wouldn't. Like, I think it's possible. I don't think it's a zero chance. Yeah.
I want to go back on two things real quick. As you're mentioning, for like how Jordan Love is his own person, we got to judge him, not compare him to Aaron Rodgers. That was the same way for Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre because nobody expected Rodgers to be great or be better than Brett Favre, and we saw what happened there. Now, I'm not saying Jordan Love is going to be better than Aaron Rodgers, but it could happen. Like I would say we've had the greatest franchise of developing quarterbacks and had quarterbacks come through our system. So many compared to the rest of the other. But did I
cut out a little bit again?
Hold up, Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Oh, all right. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So in my personal opinion, I believe that the Packers have the greatest franchise of developing quarterbacks through the system compared to everyone else. My opinion. I think that's the case there. As we were mentioning with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Bart Starr, Don Majkowski, a lot of people forget, Dickey back in the 80s, everything like that. Like, this is what the Packers know. They develop great quarterbacks. They do that so much often. And then going off to the schedule, you can go look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Now, did they have a great talented roster? Absolutely. But if you look at their schedule, it was easy games. Not many great opponents they faced during that time, if you want to look at real specifically, and especially in the postseason, too, if you look at it. They had an easy write-up. So, you never know. The Packers could have an easy way of, like, going very far because of the schedule that they have. You just never know.
No, I agree. I think everything's in front of the Packers. If this was the Packers 2 years ago, they're probably walking into the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think they have a shot, but probably not. One thing I did learn in the meetup, right? To go back to that, I remember I was talking to that couple I met that were both Packers fans. So they mentioned to me, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to the home opener." So I was like, "Oh, that's okay." Like, I'm going to go to the Saints game, like thinking that it's not the home opener, right? And the girl was like, her face lit up. She's like, "Oh, we're going to be at the same game." I'm like, no, I'm not going to the home opener. I'm going to the Saints game. It's still in September, but it's not the home opener. She's like, no, that's the home opener. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Like, they start out against the Bears, right, away. And then they play the Falcons in Atlanta in week 2. And then week 3 is the game I'm going to, which is at home, obviously. So yeah, I am going to the home opener. I don't have tickets yet. So I was like, oh, no, I got to start looking for tickets because that's probably going to be a expensive ticket, because it's the first game of Jordan Love in Lambeau. But I'm going regardless. I already have the fight. My dad. So whatever the ticket is, I'm paying. If it's Taylor Swift tickets, no, it's not that expensive. But if it's $500 a pop, that's what I'm going to pay for it. So So I should probably start looking at the tickets because I haven't bought it yet. But I do have the flight, I do have the hotel, I do have the car, so we're going, no doubt about it. And if you're going to that game, please let me know. Now I know other people going, so that's great. So again, another thing. Without Tom, I wouldn't know anybody going. Now I know people going, so perfect. Real exciting.
You could just went on Reddit too to get the.
I've done that before. Actually, when I went to the Browns, I said, "Hey, anyone want to do a meetup again?" Then we actually had enough people. We had like 30 people that were willing to go because there were a lot of Packers fans there, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to be at this tailgate in this part of the parking lot." And I went. I actually left my friend who I was with. He had gone with his girlfriend inside. I said, "Hey." They didn't want to come for some reason. I don't know why. I was like, all right, well, I met these guys online, right? Like they're Packers fans. I want to go hang out with them. So I walked around the parking lot, and I went to where they said they were going to be, and there was no one there. So I said, all right, I guess this is not happening. So I just met them in the stadium. Yeah, so I didn't actually meet up with who these people were. But there were like 15 people saying, yeah, let's do this. And it was all from the Reddit. So I thought I was the first one to the meetups, but I guess, Tom beat me. I beat him to it. I just wasn't successful at it. So
yeah.
That's true. I guess technically Cheesehead TV started it with the ones in Green Bay. So
yeah. All right. One fun thing I want to talk about. Oh, we got a question from Bro again. The NFL Network just posted a video ranking all the team's franchise quarterbacks and put Green Bay as number 1.
Just in general?
Yes. They put, I believe, San Francisco 3 and then the Colts number 2.
Yeah, we got Bart Starr, Favre, Rodgers, obviously. Those are the top 3. Then probably after that, you say like, I don't know, Lynn Dickey, Majkowski. And then, other than everybody else was kind of pretty nonchalant, right? I mean, did we really have any notable quarterbacks other than those 5?
There's one more. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's like during like the 50s of like when they had Paul Hornung, when they had Don Hudson. I forget who the quarterback was.
I don't even know. But yeah, those are my top 5. I would say Rodgers 1, Starr 2. I would actually put Starr above Favre. Then Favre 3, and then Lynn Dickey 4 and Majkowski 5. I mean, I think Majkowski had a chance to be pretty good, but obviously got hurt. So
yeah. He did. So yeah, there was that of the Green Bay of the throwback, and then who was it? The Packers did post a throwback today of like Charles Woodson winning Defensive Player of the Year in 2009, and showing the highlights of the pick sixes, all the fun stuff. And you can also go check that out too of what I had in my GOAT series video, CBs. I put Charles Woodson highlight video in there, so you can go check that out, folks. Another thing I did want to talk about for fun before we head out is the tennis match that we both played at.
Was this the first episode since then? It is, right?
Yes.
Oh, nice. The tennis match. So, Jeremy and I, were in the same area last weekend, 2 weekends ago? 2 weekends ago,
I believe.
In his summer house. So, it's a kind of a tennis, tennis beach community, right? And now they have pickleball too. I was playing some pickleball. So we got a game in. Jeremy obviously plays on a team. He's more talented. I'd never taken lessons before. I just kind of, but I held my own. Right, I was okay.
You were okay. You were better than my brother when he played because my brother's just terrible. But you were all right. Okay.
Yeah, and I was never on a team. I took practice lessons for like a few days, and I gave up as a kid. That was pretty lame of me. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I just kind of picked it up. But I'm not that good. But I'm not that good at serving. But it was fun. It was fun stuff.
No,
I can get it in though. It's just I'm not good at like
consistency.
No, I'm not good at like getting it hard.
Yeah,
consistency. I'm pretty good. Like I can like just lob it in, serve and get it to land in. I mean, that's not a problem. It's just I can't go, like try to like ace it. That's not me. Yeah.
No. The score of that, folks, was 6-3 and then 6-0. I let him win a couple games, folks.
Right. No, that's not true. You didn't let me win anything. I mean, I lost most of them, but the ones I won, you didn't let me win anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was it for our tennis match. As I beat him, a 6-3, 6-0. Still was a fun match though, too.
Yeah.
And then there was one fun one when he hit the ball just the wrong side of the court and hit it right into the pond. I remember that was fun.
Yeah. Sorry for the ball. there's a little bit of a stream over there, and somehow, what do you call it? The backhand. I can't backhand. That's my other big limitation is I have no backhand. So
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. So it was good seeing you again. Yeah.
And then what was it? Oh, my brother said Matt Flynn for another honorable mention for a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, what did he play? A few games. So that's the other.
Put him in there.
Yeah.
That's like
he had a great game. He had a great game against the Lions, but
that's like saying put Matt Hasselbeck up there.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do we have anything else you wanted to say before we head out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think OTAs is going on. Definitely keep track on that. We're going to get into kind of the dead zone again in July coming up. Mini camp, has that happened yet? The mandatory mini camp?
No, I don't think. No, not mandatory mini camp yet. I think it's coming up soon though. I think it's a couple weeks away, if I'm correct.
June 13th to 15th. That's next week. So let's definitely talk about that next week. Maybe when Carson comes on, we can tell him that, that's going to be our recap. And sorry. Thank you. Let's definitely make sure next week is a football. I definitely want to hit on a 30 for 30 too, but not like I did today. Obviously, I'm also not going to be there myself, so I won't have as much to go on. But, talk about minicamp next week. So definitely guys keeping tabs on minicamp. That's mandatory. Everyone's got to show up. I think most players have gone to OTAs. I think it's Jair and Rasul that haven't been there. Maybe they've showed up since, but I don't know. Jair thinks that he doesn't need to go to OTAs. I don't know. To me, I think every player should be at everything. This is your job. We're trying to win a Super Bowl here. Come, what else do you do?
Exactly.
All these people showed up for a meetup in Ryan Park, right? They weren't getting paid to do that. They went because it was, these are your guys. Come hang out. What else are you going to do? Go on vacation in the time that you're off. This is your job. Even if it's voluntary show-ups. I don't love that he didn't show up. I love Jair, but I don't get that. But maybe there's something else going on, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. But
yeah.
So minicamp next week, and so a lot coming up, I think. Yep. And obviously we'll have the 30 for 30 to keep up tabs with too. So, things are going on. Exciting time.
Yes.
And we'll be in the swing of it, opening night in Chicago, Atlanta, and then the night I'll be there. So opening night. But yeah, it's going to be cool. Cool to say Jordan Love's first start in Lambeau.
Yeah. It will be fun to see that. It will be fun for you to see that.
I indirectly saw that. So, if Jordan Love becomes the next Aaron Rodgers, I always tell everyone I saw his first start in Lambeau. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, folks, as we wrap up here for PackReacts, as we come down to the end of our episode, Mike, where can the people find you, especially PackReacts of our show?
Yeah. Twitter's the main platform other than YouTube. Arvo15 is my main personal account, but then obviously I moderate the PackReacts podcast Twitter, so we're gonna try to get going. And actually, Jeremy, I got a what do you call it? A story real quick before we end. I had mentioned to Nagler and I think to Grossi too, and I said, we run the PackReacts podcast, and both of them, it just you could see when something clicks in somebody's head, right? When they weren't expecting something, they both like, oh yeah, I think I've seen that. I don't know if they watched the show, but I think they've seen the Twitter thing. So I'm saying the Twitter thing is a big, what do you call it? It just gets our name out there. So
that's why you're in charge of it.
Yeah. So I think they've seen it. Now, again, I don't know. At least we got some name recognition. But I told them, we got Wes Hodkowitz in, we got Matt Ramage on, we got Big B.
Carson.
Yeah, they didn't know Carson, so I didn't mention Carson. But I love Carson. I mean, definitely, he's coming on again next week. But I'm not gonna, I think who's that, right? So no offense. They would say it about me too if you brought up my name. So what do you call it? So I mentioned those three, right? And they were, they definitely seemed like they knew who we were. So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main thing. Instagram, Titletown memes. I do most of my meme work on Twitter nowadays, but I haven't done much recently. But I gotta get back into it. That's always fun stuff. So, but usually that's my repository. So that's the main thing for right now. But I do want to get into some more stuff. I think this is gonna be a big season for both of us. We got to try to venture out, try some new things. we're gonna try to do this GOAT series. I know, sorry, I've been dropping the ball, but Jeremy's doing that. He's doing a great job in that. If you haven't seen the GOAT series, definitely check that out. I'm gonna do one on safeties. We're gonna get this filmed, so don't worry, it's definitely gonna come out, and yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, folks. Right now, I'm in the works of editing middle linebackers. Right now, I had a special guest on that one. Last 2 videos you can go see were the outside linebackers. I put Clay Matthews for the thumbnail with his muscles, the huge ones, and then I put Jair Alexander doing the gritty on Justin Jefferson as my other thumbnail in the last recent video that just came out. So be sure to look out for that. So we having more GOAT series, and we're having Mike here doing the safety videos we're trying to get to, and that'll be the end of the defense, and then we head to the final stage, the offense, and then we'll do coach for a fun feature bonus episode too. So stay tuned for that. It's summer, so we're gonna have fun there. Oh, I also forgot to mention here. Hold up. This is something that I've waited for.
Right.
2 years for that.
Lifeguard of the year. There you go.
Yes. 2 years for
Nice
that.
job.
Thank you.
Congrats.
So that was a fun thing. I like to shout out that. And then I'm trying to think what else. So yeah, we're having that. We try and do trivia when we can. We'll have it like sometime like down the line. We're going to try and do some trivia for fun for everyone. And then we'll have more guests come on. As I just mentioned, Carson will be on soon. Hopefully we get more guests. And we're open to any football fan, whether you're a Ravens fan, Vikings fan, Bears fan. I don't know why you're a Bears fan. You shouldn't be. Eagles, whatever fan you are. You're always welcome to come on the show. Always welcome. So
Absolutely.
Stay tuned for that.
You know how to contact us. Look at this, Jeremy. We actually did a good timed episode this time, about 1 hour and 1 minute. We didn't go 2 hours, so look at that.
No, we did not. All right, folks.
All right.
Yes. But folks, before we head out, we have a special video we'd like to play for you that's about Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, ladies and gentlemen. Let's play that real quick.
Rodgers, who the only place he's going to take you to is the toilet bowl, and then you got Brett Favre, who will take you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just saying we're not going to talk about that.
I'm just saying we're not going to talk about that. That's a great response. That's a good video. Thanks for finding that. Honestly, I'd never seen that before you brought it up.
Rip to Ted Thompson, great person in the Packers organization, but he made the right decision, and we won a Super Bowl from that. So thank you, Ted Thompson. Rest in peace.
Correct. Rest in peace. Great man.
What do we always say here before we head out, sir?
I don't know.
Let's
might be the
Go, Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go.
Go.
Go, Pack, go.